If the US starts to decline in terms of its economic power, meaning people are doing business in rubles and renminbi. People aren't exporting from Silicon Valley. They're exporting from Beijing or from Singapore. As soon as that happens, right? For every dollar that China makes, for every renminbi that China makes, the US loses a dollar or a renminbi, right? So all of a sudden we start reaching what's called parity.
Yeah.
Parity means equality.
Right.
When there's equality, it's guaranteed that there will be conflict, because there has to be something to differentiate during parity. Does that mean there's going to be guns and like nuclear weapons? No, it could mean tariffs. The United States just put a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles inside the United States. Think about what that means. That means we want more electric vehicles.
Yeah.
We want a greener country. Yeah. We want alternate energy, but we don't want it to come from China.
Right.
And China's creating electric vehicles at a very cheap price.
Mm-hmm.
But the United States knows that if you or I buy a $24,000 electric vehicle from China, 24,000 US dollars leave the United States.
Yeah.
They turn into renminbi and they go to China, and they don't come back, right? China, on the other hand, knows that for every $24,000 car that they sell to the United States, they get more renminbi. They get more power. That parity starts to shift. The United States can't let that happen, because that makes for a new superpower. Not only that, but the United States is smart enough to realize that if China becomes a superpower, it's going to follow the same methodology that the US used to gain power and influence all over the world. They're going to become the bully. They're going to make every debt have to be in their currency, just like we made every debt had to be in our currency. They're going to make it so that you can trade land in exchange for military bases. So now it's like, oh, you know what? We'll build your schools, we'll build your runway.
They're already doing the highways through Africa, this infrastructure project in South America.
The Belt Road Initiative. They're already doing it. They've been testing it in the third world for 20 years. And it's been hugely successful, with the exception of the fact that there's a debt crisis because of it, right? But it's been hugely successful in the third world. So if the United States loses NATO, then NATO has to partner with somebody. Guess who their #1 trade partner is? In Germany and France.
China.
Guess who our #1 trade partner is?
Who?
China.
China? See, and that's why I'm like, well, how can there be conflict if we all depend on each other? You know what I mean? Like, that was the whole theory about, going back to Adam Smith and capitalism. Free trade makes a rising tide that lifts all boats.
It's true. It's true, but the tide is not equal to everybody, because the boats are not equal.
Okay, so because, they say, going back to a Starbucks on the corner, when a coffee bean pops up across the street, it's actually good for business, because now you have more people coming to the area to get coffee, and it actually creates more customers for everyone.
For everyone except Starbucks.
No. If more people are coming, though, just mathematically, more people that weren't coming to the area before are there now. So some are going to, it's surely going to be, some of those people are going to go to Starbucks.
And that's where you have to actually do the real analytics.
Right.
Okay. Because to use your exact example, right? Here's one street corner. That one street corner only has X number of people that are within walking distance of that street corner. And let's just keep it simple and say only walking distance.
Right.
Those people can always walk to that street corner. So when there was a Starbucks on that street corner, if people came to that street corner, they went there for Starbucks, or they went there to buy leather shops or shoes or whatever else, right? When there's a coffee bean that opens on the other side, part of the Starbucks consumers are now going to the coffee bean, but all the other businesses benefit, because the leather shops and the shoe stores have more people coming.
Right.
The only one that really loses is Starbucks, because while there might be a 10% increase in foot traffic, only 1% of that increase is going to Starbucks.
Okay. So
8% of that increase is going to coffee beans.
So the rest of the world stands to benefit, especially this global South, especially the third world, from this competition between China and America. Americans are the ones who are going to see our standards of living go down. Well, that's what it sounds like to you. So
it depends on how, again, I don't know what you're defining as standard of living.
Okay.
You're not going to see, it's not like your roads are going to stop being built or electricity is going to stop. We're not going to turn into the third world.
Right.
But what it does mean is, like, your children might have to learn Chinese.